But hold on, let's just use that exact point for a second. Let's think about who he had on the field. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon at the time. Okay, so those are the players that he was working with. So that's already kind of a problem because you already have to wonder, was it him or was it them? Was it the talent that he had, right? See Josh McDaniels getting hired over and over and over again because he was the Patriots offensive coordinator. And so is that offense good because Brian Callahan is the offensive coordinator, or is it them? First big problem. Second big problem, and to me, I don't even know how you work around this as far as logic. The man did not call the plays. He didn't call the plays. He was the offensive coordinator in Cincinnati, but Zach Taylor called the plays. So what exactly was he doing? Don't really care. The point is that the idea is that he's an offensive guru, and this is a guy who coached Joe Burrow and all this stuff. Hey, Joe Burrow, I think, is probably going to get a lot of guys hired for being offensive geniuses in his career, A. And B, you didn't call the play. So you've never even managed an offense on game day, much less an entire team. And it shows every single week with the decisions that he makes. And I have the best example that I've seen in a very, very long time. A friend of mine actually said whenever I told him this, that just shows you right there, that's, basically empirical evidence of the fact that there are people in these roles that do not know what they're doing or what they're talking about. Brian Callahan, I don't know about the can't read thing. I don't know why he says that, why they said that, but let's just take a listen to old Callahan, where Ebuka Manor made a catch on the sideline and he came down, and it was incredibly done by him because his elbow touched inbounds essentially before he went out of bounds. And the way that the angle was, everything on his body went out of bounds except for his elbow, which touched first. It was incredible. And we didn't challenge it, and it was confusing at the time and annoying, let's say, at the time. And he was asked about it after the game, and this is what Brian Callahan had to say.
Challenge on the Isle Manor play where they moved out of bounds on the sideline. It looked like his elbow hit inbounds first.
Yeah, you got to get a foot inbounds too, which we didn't have a clean look at whether his foot was down as well. An elbow doesn't equal 2 feet, so his foot would have had to come down as well. We didn't have a clean look, so the call from upstairs was that it wasn't worth challenging.
Yeah, it quite literally does equal 2 feet, Brian. It quite literally does. An elbow does equal 2 feet. It just does. I mean, that is I don't even know how to put into proper terms how big of an indictment that is on him. He doesn't know the freaking rule book. He doesn't know the rule book so much that when asked about it, he literally says, yeah, I mean, obviously you don't know the rules, but with the elbow, you also still have to have a foot inbounds. It's got to be the elbow plus a foot, which doesn't even make sense to begin with if you really think about it. But it's just not true. Not only do you screw your team by not challenging the catch in the actual game, but then you double down on it when asked about it and just basically admit out loud that you do not know the rule books. And then his apology for it apparently was that he had a different interpretation of the NFL rulebook. No, you just didn't know the rules, man. You just didn't know. And it's unforgivable. It really is to be in that position. And especially when we already have the questions that we have about him.